Good morning, everyone. Welcome on in. And Ron is off today, but we are all here. Wait, let's see where we're looking. Where's number? I'm not sure what camera we're on. But we are going to get this party started, and we are so glad that so many of you are here this morning. I am on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, thank you for joining in. And thank you for sharing where you're watching from. Come on in, Anita. We are piecing together here. We have a lot of big stories to get to this morning, and we are going to go ahead and get started on some of these. One of the largest, unfortunately, the biggest story that we've been following for you, Anita, good morning.
Good morning.
Is happening out of Australia. There was a mass shooting that took place over the weekend, and it's been heartbreaking to cover. We've been talking about it most of the morning.
Yeah, we have a 50-year-old man who was killed. They do believe, they're calling this terrorism.
Yes.
And they do believe that this was a father-son who are behind it. They have not identified anyone, but we have a 50-year-old man who was dead, and I do believe 24-year-old man who was wounded in the hospital.
Yes.
And then, we have multiple fatalities as a result of this, but we also have injuries as well. Dozens and dozens of people who are in the hospital after they were shot.
And this is the video that you're looking at Bondi Beach there in Australia. 42 people are being treated at local hospitals. I'll read a couple of different pieces of information for you, and then we have some sound and a really important interview to get to this morning as well. Thank you, everyone, for saying good morning in the chat, and we'll get to you in just a quick second. The father was shot and killed by officers. Listen to this. The suspects were a 50-year-old father and his 24-year-old son. And the son is in critical but stable condition, and this is a look at some of the video from some of the bystanders that had been taken, and you see all the response vehicles there in the distance as well. So it has been quite the weekend, quite the last couple of days. Of course, Hanukkah began there, and it was the first day of Hanukkah there. And here in the United States, we do have a special interview coming up about locally with, how the Jewish community is responding to something like this. Let's go ahead and take a quick listen, if we can, to what is happening there in Australia.
This is the holiday of light, the holiday of positivity, and there can be no better time than to be proud Jews, and we're standing together as a community. Yes, we need to be vigilant and careful and safe, but not forget about who we are and be proud of who we are.
Now more than ever, it is so important to combat this darkness and hate with so much light. And this is what we're doing here. Look how beautiful this is. So much Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah.
So that actually was some of the local response.
Out of Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And the rabbi, Arizona Jews for Justice founder, is going to be our next guest. I know you were talking about that, but we have the local communities, local Jewish communities responding to this.
Because with the beginning of Hanukkah, of course, right, you have a lot of people responding and, thinking about what has taken place there in Australia. So, let's get to Rabbi Shmuly Yanklowitz with the Arizona Jews for Justice founder. I hope I pronounced that correctly. My apologies if I did not. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Rabbi.
Absolutely.
Good morning. Happy Hanukkah, despite all the darkness that took place.
Give us your thoughts, if you can, just your local reaction to what has taken place and maybe what you're hearing from people here in the community in Arizona.
Well, there's people who love to sell light. Everything is all good in the world all the time. And I don't buy it. And there's people who love to sell darkness. Everything is broken and tragic everywhere. And I don't buy it. The truth is we live in a very complex world where there's so much beauty and so much love and kindness. And there's so much cruelty and pain and hate. And that's what we're witnessing right now at a holiday season that's supposed to be so joyful. So much pain and tragedy and attacks. And there's many who are afraid and really unsettled right now. The global Jewish community and right here in Arizona.
Rabbi, talk a little bit about the Jewish community here in Arizona. When this took place, Was there concern? Was there fear? Was there an increase of security as we entered the celebration of Hanukkah here?
Unfortunately, we're used to this. There is just constant rising anti-Semitism in the country, in the state, from all directions, whether it's from the far right of white supremacy, whether it's from the far left of anti-Zionism, whether it's from the fundamentalist Islamists who are arguing to globalize the Intifada. There's a sense that Jews are alone. And so that's strengthening our community because people are showing up in community more and more. But the allyship is not there in the state. We don't see other groups showing up for the Jews right now. And that's really heartbreaking. On the other hand, we're finding a lot of solidarity within the community.
So when you're hearing from some of your some members of the Jewish community, how do you keep spirits up when you have that sense where you're not getting the type of support in the Jewish community that you had hoped for?
You know, my teacher, Elie Wiesel, the famous Holocaust survivor and author, suggested that you don't just combat anti-Semitism directly. You actually have to keep living your mission, keep putting your light out into the world. And so I think a big part of what the community, where they're getting strength from right now, is not just from security. We're spending so much of our resources on security, armed guards everywhere we go. And yet, we get our strength from living our mission, from going out and trying to put kindness in the world, to trying to be advocates for justice, to trying to build allyship and support our mission. So there's strength from the resiliency of the Jewish people who for millennia have been under attack, and there's strength from a commitment to this mission of spreading light.
Let me ask you, you mentioned that you're not seeing the support from other communities. What can people do? What would you guys, what would the Jewish community like to see as far as support? What can people say, do, show to let you know that they're with you in solidarity?
Thank you so much. And I don't want to overstate it because we as a local Arizona Jewish community have so many friends and allies across the state that we appreciate so much. And yet post-October 7th, these last 2 years have been incredibly isolating and heartbreaking. What we ask first and foremost is to call out radicals within your communities, those who are spreading hate to any group, again, whether it's on the left or the right or wherever it is. Secondly, if you see somebody who publicly identifies as Jewish, don't wish them a Merry Christmas. Don't, really recognize their Jewishness and wish them a Happy Hanukkah. Do something that enables them to feel more safe in the community. And I think thirdly, to show up for us, show up, reach out to a Jewish friend when there's an attack, reach out to say you're not alone. We appreciate you, because what I think makes America so wonderful is not that we get rid of our uniqueness, that we're just Americans, but that we acknowledge, we celebrate you being a Christian or you being a Muslim or you being a Jew. We, our different races and ethnicities, we celebrate our diversity. And so we should stand up against any hate wherever we see it.
What are your, if you can share, what is Hanukkah about for those who may not understand the holiday or may not know much about your faith?
Thank you for asking. There's a particularistic aspect and a universalistic aspect. The particularistic aspect is about Jewish survival, that Jews have been under attack for millennia, and yet we still have these humble little lights that we light in faith and in hope of a better world, celebrating our ability to survive based on our simple ideals. That's about the Jews looking inward. But looking outward, the message is really about solidarity in the world, that we believe the human spirit can spread light and put out darkness, that people who are suffering with illness, people who are suffering with poverty, people who are suffering in old age or dementia, whatever it is that we're struggling with, that we can find strength and resiliency from little bits of light.
We heard from a young woman when we were doing the interviews who said that's what she would like to see, light from this very tragic, terrible situation. But how does one move past that if you're always looking over your shoulder and living in fear?
Yes, I think the easiest way to get out of fear is to get more proximate to good people. The more we can find good people in our society, and I believe good is winning. Although there's real darkness and threats and evil, I believe there's so many good people in our society who want to make a difference, and we have to build community around them, empower each other, come together across differences, and understand each other. So I think that's the first step. The second is to double down on love. Wherever there's hate, double down on love. We at Arizona Jews for Justice, we have 2 Let's Be Better Humans buses that go around the valley every day and find people that nobody can find and feed them and give them clothes. We invite people on those buses. We have showers that give showers to people who haven't showered in months. We have toy drives that are going on to Native American reservations, going out to Christian communities in poverty to make sure they can have a Christmas that for their children. So we think that we don't go in hiding, we don't get angry, we don't isolate ourselves. When these attacks emerge and they scare us and they tap into our intergenerational trauma, we have to double down on acts of love.
Rabbi, you mentioned, if I may, you mentioned you have buses and you help feed the hungry. It's interesting because we had a gentleman on our stream show this last Friday who does a similar thing. Mm-hmm. He has a nonprofit and he helps people who live on the street, tries to get them jobs, tries to get them employment. And to your point, we are all love. We are all people. We're really all one and the same. We may have slightly different religious beliefs. When it comes down to it, though, we are all one. And that's what's so difficult when you see people attack. And a simple hello, good morning, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah is sometimes all it takes.
Yes, exactly. You're exactly right. You know, that beautiful mountain view of a mountain behind you. If you sit on that mountain and then you zoom out to the satellite view, you don't see a mountain and a person. Right. You just see the mountain, right? Because ultimately, I believe in my theology that there is only oneness. There is only God. There is only the light of God within all people. And whatever our different theologies are, I, of course, as a pluralist, I accept that. But in my religion, in my faith, I believe in that oneness. I believe in the diversity, but also in that oneness. And so I think the more we can do charitable acts and acts of kindness, the more we'll experience that. Those differences will fall away and we'll see our core commonality of goodness.
You know, we have a very active chat here on YouTube, and we have someone who just chimed in, Charles David, Rabbi, and he says, we may all be different, but we are all part of the same body. And I think if more people understood that, and most faiths, if you look at the foundation of it, they are all built or supposed to be built on love. And so even though you may not agree, right, you build it on that. Well, our prayers are for you and your community and the Jewish community here in Arizona. And we so thank you for your time this morning, and happy Hanukkah to you. And we hope you have a wonderful season.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. I wish everyone happy holidays, and I hope we can channel all of our blessings into goodness for those around us this year.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. We have our mystery camera coming up this morning as well. Let's go ahead and pop that up for you. Very active site with the ocean off in the distance. Okay. And yeah, it's very busy in this mystery town. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. 10:15 this morning. If you are new to the feed, say hello. We love to hear from you. This is a look at our mystery camera this morning. And good morning to Anna. Good morning to Be Kind Forever, Little Philosophy. B. Miguel, Buddha Sheep, good morning to you. Mr. Pauline, it's been a little while, buddy.
He's driving. He said he can't get on the comments, but he's listening and checking at the stoplight.
It is so wonderful to see so many of you here. We have some good guesses. Anita, do you want to read some of those guesses we have
let me
in
see.
the chat?
We've got Delaware. That is an excellent guess, Little Philosophy. Excellent. New Hampshire, Alabama. Someone mentioned a big O truck. Is that in the feed, or are we looking at something else? And then South Carolina is the other one.
All right. What are you going to go with, Anita?
I think it's Delaware as well.
Delaware. I'm going to go...
And it's very charming, and they have a little bit of snow. Hint.
My aunt, who lives in Virginia, has a place up in Delaware on the beach, and it looks very similar to that.
You know it.
But I'm going to say Connecticut. I'll go with Linda Montrose just for fun.
Connecticut,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, are you guys ready? Drum roll, please.
Okay, let's see. Delaware. Rehoboth Beach.
I was upside down.
Yeah, that's where my aunt's place is. Maybe she's there on the beach hanging
what's
out.
What's her name?
My Aunt Josie.
Hi, Aunt Josie.
Yeah, my Thea Josie.
Hello.
She has a place there on the beach. It's her little retirement place. And she rents it out. She rents it out sometimes.
Oh,
yes,
that's adorable.
But good job to all the winners out there who guessed, Delaware. You are a winner today.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We also had someone's going. Buddha Sheep is going to New Orleans. I've never been.
Me neither. To New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to New Orleans
I would like
either.
to go because I would love to go on some of those tours that they have.
Yes.
The haunted cemetery tours, the stories.
The old homes and mansions
I really
and
love
things
history,
like that.
so that's something I'm really interested in doing.
Well, thank you all for liking the video as well. We have at least 9 likes on the video right now. And awesome job, Low Philosophy. I think you guessed correctly as well. So thank you all for joining us. All right, we are going to talk about another big story here that we have for you this morning. This has to do with a Michigan coach and the latest now. So the University of Michigan is expanding its investigation into the athletic department after firing head football coach Sharon Moore. This was a big story late last week.
Yeah, he was
we
fired.
Watched some of the trial unfold, and he has made bail. So he has made bail. He's out.
He was fired for an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, but there was a little bit more to it. Well, there was a lot to it. So he has this inappropriate relationship, and then I know we read this morning on the newscast that he was there was a 911 call made. He had broken into this ex because they broke up.
Yeah, she broke up with him.
Yes, and so he broke into her residence, threatened to kill himself, which is why they called 911. So some of those charges may very well stem from that. And then, of course, there's the investigation into this relationship on the university.
So this is some of the newer information that we have for you this morning. So according to the Associated Press, before he was fired, he and the staff member, the young woman, they were asked if they were in a relationship. So somebody tipped off, and some of the reports that I read this morning, somebody tipped off the athletic department at the University of Michigan. And they said, hey, what's going on? We think something's going on. You may want to start asking questions. And they both denied it.
He's married with 3 children.
He is. They got married in 2015. You're correct.
Yeah. So married 10 years with the 3 kids.
Yeah. So the school then hired, after they both denied it, the school then hired an outside law firm, which reports then say they began working on the campus last Monday. So then there was this internal investigation by this law firm. They were looking into the whole situation. So this has been going on a lot longer than we initially thought.
Absolutely. He was sending multiple text messages, making repeated phone calls.
Yes.
Again, after she broke up with him.
So let's go ahead and take a listen to something here. And then we got some more information for you on this very big story.
He did not answer, did not respond to, and did not want. That eventually she presented herself to the University of Michigan, cooperated in some form of investigation there. As we all now know, defendant was at some point on Wednesday afternoon fired from his employment.
So prosecutors, that's what we believe was her apartment. Prosecutors say he went to his former mistress's, broke in, threatened to kill himself. He then left the apartment after the woman said she would call police. He was arrested a short time later and now faces multiple charges, scheduled to be back in court January 2nd. But yeah, he is out on bail this morning. And that was, I think, a lot of people, he's out on bail, but a lot of people I think are the chatter that I've read online, thinking about his family, his wife and his kid, his 3 young girls.
Yeah.
That
it's a difficult situation all around. He's lost his job. Was she currently employed there? Do you know? Or
she was.
I believe that she was currently employed. She did not leave the position. But it's he's lost his job. Possibly his marriage. We can only imagine what was going on between the two of them.
Yeah.
What he was thinking and feeling. And so, and also it's all in the public eye. It's all very difficult.
It is. And so a full investigation now ongoing within the athletic department, not just on this case because of some of the tips that came in, the questions that came in. And so... You're familiar with football. Do you think that they're investigating the fact that maybe people hid this relationship, helped him hide it? That's probably a part of it, I think. Yeah, because there's somebody may have known, obviously. I don't know how well they hid it, but, those are some of the charges that you see up on your screen. Wow. So we'll keep you updated on what's happening. We do have a poll coming up, RLS Vids. Thank you for that. We do have a poll we'll get to in just a quick second. Let's get to this local headline as well. Okay. And this has more to do with the situation that is happening here locally. It happened. Here's a look at a mugshot. The suspect in the shooting of a 16-year-old in the East Valley over the weekend is behind bars. If you have a 16-year-old grandchild or a son, you're thinking, or a daughter, you're like, wow, that's so young, right, for something like this to happen. So the teen victim was found shot around 8 p.m. on Saturday night.
Yeah, the victim rushed to the hospital already in critical condition. Yeah. Detectives learned that the victim was visiting his girlfriend's family, probably a family party, maybe a holiday party. And then the 21-year-old suspect, Rael Sanchez, a relative of the family, acting erratic, according to witnesses. The shooting happened, and the suspect, the gentleman you see right there, fled the scene, later found by Phoenix PD. And then Gilbert PD somehow placed him into custody. He is now facing attempted second-degree murder charges. So this is a very difficult situation because family members are involved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now we're going to go to your poll question this morning. RLS Vids, let's go right to it, my friend, because I know maybe you have voted in this one. And you can use that QR code there if you're watching on television. Use your phone, scan the QR code, and you can vote there. And here's your poll question there, and then we'll go over to the YouTube one in a quick moment. Your question is, will the shooting at Brown University change anyone's mind about the need for gun control? 22% of you say no, support it or not. More shootings won't change your mind. No, more shootings push the need for more mental health care. 74% of you say that. And yes, every shooting increases belief that gun control is needed. That's 4%. All right, we are going to go to
Big D
for a look at the YouTube. Hi, buddy. Good morning.
Hello, friends. Yeah, it's so interesting when the results on YouTube are so different. So I wanted to go over that. We've got 1,000 votes already. This was just posted an hour ago. No, support it or not, more shootings won't change your mind. In this one, 59% say that. No, more shootings push the need for more mental health care. That's in second place with 22%. And finally, yes, every shooting increases belief that gun control is needed. That's 20%. As you can imagine, we've gotten a lot of really passionate comments, already about 90 comments. Uncle Scipio 3136 says gun control in the USA is ideological and political. It's got nothing to do with evidence or logic. The thousands of shootings before this haven't made a dent, and this one won't either. Janice N9 says gun control is only going to make people more vulnerable. The bad guys get guns no matter what. I think in this day and age, the fact that all of this universities don't have armed security 24/7 is beyond me. People keep on attacking gun-free zones, and every time they try to take the guns away from the good guys, this won't stop. We have to fight back. And then finally, Daniela Russo, 8012, says most people don't seem to change their minds until something affects them directly. When it's everybody else, they just don't care. Selfish people in a broken society. Really interesting comments. We love hearing from you guys, so keep it up.
Can I throw something out?
Absolutely.
We had the shooting on, is it Bondi Beach?
Bondi Beach.
Bondi Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it up. It says Australia has some of the world's strictest gun control regulations that were established by the National Firearms Agreement, the NFA out there, 1996. Just, food for thought, and what people... what say you? What is your opinion? Is that we saw a shooting in Australia, a mass shooting. Thank you, with some of the strictest gun laws taking place. Will restrictions prevent that in the United States?
Yeah.
Just throwing out another question.
And he was legally, I believe, the father had 4 firearms that he owned legally, right? And then you still had a situation, unfortunately, that happened.
Right. And if we can go back, I thought this was a very interesting comment. Now I can't find it, you guys, because you're all coming in. Coming in hot. Someone was talking about just this cheating. Oh, I'll never understand, Brandy the bookworm. I'll never understand why people cheat. If you want to be married or in a relationship, be in it 100%.
True.
If you have doubts, get bored, whatever. Don't string your partner along. This is in response to
the University of Michigan situation.
Yeah, and so it's just interesting to see the comments that people have, the feelings people have.
So back to the Brown University story. Let's show you some video. There's some new information that just came out. I just found it two minutes ago, in fact. Rhode Island authorities, and this goes back to kind of what Big D was talking about as well, and reading your comments, sharing some new information on the mass shooting at Brown University on Saturday. First of all, it's hard to see, hard to hear, and hard to understand how this stuff happens on university campuses.
Incredibly,
we send our children off to school, off to college. You hope that they're going to be okay. You pray for them and their roommates and their class, and you think, my goodness. Officials say they originally had a person of interest in custody. That person has now been released, so they're still now looking for someone. They say they followed a number of leads, of course, on campus, which this shooting killed 2 people, injured 9 others. One suspect was chased to the ground before being arrested, but that person, I believe, has been released. One of the 9 students, this just came out just moments ago here on Fox News, one of the 9 students wounded during the shooting at Brown University on Saturday has been identified as Kendall Turner. She is from Durham, North Carolina. The Durham Academy, her private K-12 school that she attended, they're the ones who confirmed with Fox. So we'll share a couple of pieces of information if we have it. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back. Welcome on back, everyone. Another beautiful shot of some amazing city here around the nation. And we have a special guest that we always love to have here in studio. This is amazing, Anita. We've got Mike Pache.
Oh.
Mike
Great
Pache.
to be here. Great to be here.
It's always exciting when Mike Pache is
Mike
here.
Pache in a hizzy.
You always
Yes.
have great things to say.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Can I share a comment?
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can. You guys,
Let's see if we have a 3-shot.
So Charles David, 5137, said, how often do they have incidents like this in Australia? And that is, we're talking about the mass shooting.
Yeah.
We are talking about the shooting at Brown University.
Yes.
And one thing that I threw out, food for thought, just comment, is Australia has some of the strictest gun law regulations that were established right around 1996. And so I think that's an excellent comment. Can you look at the statistics? Can you compare, or are we comparing apples and oranges here? And that's what Charles David is talking about. And that's all with our poll question here. Will the shooting at Brown University change anyone's mind about the need for gun control?
Yeah, and it's so interesting, guys, because every time there's a mass shooting, they're always saying, okay, is this going to be the moment now where things get changed, maybe in the country, or then you look at other things that happened in the past.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sandy Hook, we just saw the anniversary of that, and it doesn't seem like, with the mental health crisis in the country, it seems like it just continues and continues.
And I think it's interesting. I'm following what Fox News is doing online, and they're continuing to come up with new information on what happened at Brown University. One of the questions that has been raised was, I guess there's not a lot of cameras on campus,
Which is very surprising in this day and age.
Right?
Yes.
They're looking for more video, and so now they're asking for the public's help.
My question too is, obviously we don't know anything about the suspect who may have done it, but would this be a clue saying that whomever the suspect or suspects are they familiar with the campus because they know there aren't cameras in certain areas,
Sure.
and they aren't going to get captured on that camera?
Yeah, and you got to figure too, this person must have knew that this final or the study was going on a Saturday night at Brown University.
Also an excellent point.
That's another interesting point that you got to look at too. But yeah, the police as well as the mayor and also Brown University getting a lot of flack for not putting out a photo or a video right away. I mean, it was hours and hours. They do the first initial news conference on Saturday night.
Yes.
They don't have a photo or a description. All they say is it's a male in all black. I mean, how are you going to grab that?
You would have shed the black hat, black sweatshirt, running away from campus.
Exactly.
You all are covering a lot of the big topics, I think, that affect a lot of people around the nation. Mike, you guys do an amazing job. Let's talk about Congress and healthcare. This has not been an easy road for a lot of people and for our nation's leaders. So lawmakers are scrambling to come up with a new healthcare package. Subsidies are going to expire.
Yeah, so this is an issue where since Obamacare was put into effect, now, Republicans have been trying to do this, replace effort, but they haven't been able to get anything comparable to replace it with. And, this whole journey now has been going on since Republicans fighting it tooth and nail, but they haven't been able to really give anything in its place.
Yeah.
Well, this was really the reason, or a big reason, behind the government shutdown leading up to Thanksgiving, the longest government shutdown in American history. The Democrats who really wanted subsidies voted on, and the Republicans said not this time.
Well, I think it's interesting, and Mike, maybe you can kind of share what you've seen, upstairs and in LiveNOW. But the two ideas coming from one from the Dems, one from the Republicans, are different, right? The Dems just want to extend whatever's happening now, whatever's going on. And the Republicans, they want to initiate some sort of situation where it puts money into like a flex savings account or health savings account, and then allows the consumer, the American, to choose how they want to spend it, right?
Yeah, Republicans want the effort to go more to the person, have more, flexibility on where to go, who to see. But the problem is not one party, Republican or Democrat, wants to be the party that says, well, you can't do this. We got to take away something from the health care. And and that is where we're at right now, where this whole try to replace something with the standards that are right now is very difficult.
You have to wonder, have they sat down and said, does this work? Does it not work? Who is it benefiting? Who isn't it benefiting?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. And you got to figure, too, just if you can streamline it more and get the help that you need for both sides, I think it could help a lot of people.
Somebody's got to get along on the playground.
Yes, yes.
And you would think healthcare is something that benefits and affects each and every single one of us.
Maybe if we take away the healthcare for Congress, maybe if we do that, then maybe they'll be able to make something happen.
Yes, truly.
That's a point,
Right.
Celeste. That's a point.
Let's get right to the big story with Rob Reiner. That has been a huge development.
Wow.
Mike walked in to the streaming studio and he said, "Oh man, this story just keeps developing. These new details keep coming back. Tell us what you know."
Okay, so the very latest, the son has now been charged with the gruesome murder. He has been charged.
Because last I read, he was taken into custody, being held on bail. I did not realize he was being charged.
Yeah, so this really escalated in the last couple of hours here. But this is a situation where over the weekend, the whole family, Rob Reiner, his wife, and the son, Nick, was at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. And the family
over this past weekend.
This past Saturday.
And his son is 32.
Yeah, 32. And they got into a heated fight, according to TMZ, where so much so that partygoers visibly saw and heard this fight.
Like an argument. They weren't physically
No, just a verbal argument. And then to think hours later, they are both butchered pretty much.
Oh my! And the wife and his mother.
Yes.
Too. And I believe the daughter walked in and found them, and she's the one who called 911. That's according to TMZ.
Not only did she call 911, but she pointed out that she believed, look at my brother. I think he's the suspect.
Yeah.
She knew pretty much right away, probably, what was going on and what was, but for poor her to see that scene. I mean, that is horrible.
Terrifying. It'll be very. I know they're going to be looking into, and we'll see all the reports of his history, the son's history, the family's history, and what may have potentially led up to this, but. That's terrible.
You know, to give you a little bit of background, if you're just joining us, we are covering the big story with Rob Reiner. Of course, you know him from directing a number of movies. He was in All in the Family, which is a great
what was
show.
His nickname? Meathead? Was that it? No.
Was that one of? I don't know.
I'm going to look this up.
He produced A Few Good Men, one of the best movies ever. Princess Bride, it's inconceivable.
When Harry Met Sally.
Best line ever. Just a very well-respected, when we were chatting. And here's his Hollywood star right here, just a remarkable man. And according to TMZ, when we chatted with them earlier today, apparently his 32-year-old son had a problem with substance abuse and had it, as young as 15 years old. He had been in rehab, according to TMZ. And so, and he had been homeless a number of times in different states.
And recently moved back in with them. Is that correct?
TMZ didn't share that. I'm not sure. But what he did say is that it has not been easy between father and son.
No, and I guess TMZ also talking about how at this party on Saturday night, the wife was telling partygoers that they felt like they were just at wit's end with their son because they just did not know how else they could try to help this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
That's very difficult. Rob and Michelle Reiner, this is according to some of the information coming in. They were found dead inside their Brentwood, California home on Sunday afternoon. It was 3:40 yesterday. They had reportedly been stabbed to death. The LAPD, the Los Angeles Police Department, said at the time that their deaths were being investigated as a homicide, but had not yet identified a suspect, and no one had been detained. Interesting, though, in the early press conference, police actually said we're not actively searching for anyone. But this is a full investigation.
Yeah.
And so they weren't searching for anyone. So it made you think, okay, maybe there was no forced entry to the home. They said.
Sure.
Because they had surveillance, and that's something that I heard this morning. And if anything was going to happen, they would have heard that. They had so many. He was so well known, obviously, quite the career. And his nickname on the show was, in fact, Meathead. That was the first time I remember seeing him. But Maria Shiver says that they never stopped trying to be really good parents of Rob and Michelle Reiner. And so people are reacting just to what exactly happened, reacting to the fact that their son was arrested for their murder. Shriver said they love their kids so much, and they just never tried being really good parents.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. And apparently, if you're familiar with Los Angeles, Brentwood is right there by Westwood, which is right near Beverly Hills and Bel Air. They're all kind of this
little enclave.
Yeah, enclave of these very high-end neighborhoods. Billy Crystal apparently was a neighbor of the Reiners, and according to reports, he had walked by and was very visibly upset, as you can imagine. You know, it's a lot of people walk their dogs in Brentwood, and you may remember as well, that was where OJ lived. Brentwood, California. That was where Nicole Simpson lived in Brentwood, and OJ Simpson, that was where their home was located as well. So a very high-end part of Los Angeles. But now that, Mike, you shared about the son, I'm sure there's going to be additional details that are released later today as well.
Oh, sure. And detectives will usually tell you that with a stabbing, more than 90% of that crime of passion has to do with a loved one. Because you are so close, you figure compared to if you're shooting someone, you could be 10 to 15 feet away from someone. But a stabbing, it's very intimate. You want to,
They were married for 36 years. They wed in 1989 after they met on the filming of When Harry Met Sally. So she was a photographer and a producer. They had 3 children, Jake, Nick, and their daughter, Romy.
Yeah, and the daughter was the one who found, and
it's heartbreaking.
It's very heartbreaking. It's a tough situation.
Heart goes out to the family who now have to process not only the loss of parents, but then you have another loved one as the suspect.
Yeah, interesting though that like when you have such a public argument, right? Then you have a lot of other witnesses who can come forward and help police piece together maybe what
led up to it.
Yeah, for sure. Mike, it's good to have you, my friend.
Good to see you guys.
I wish it was on better terms.
I know.
Try to get some health care passed. Make a call to your congressman, Mike.
Take care.
Yes, thank you, my friend. All right, here is another look at a wintry wonderland in one spot here around the nation. And we love to hear from you in the chat, by the way. AZ Raider, Be Kind Forever, Brandy the Bookworm. We're giving you some shouts out. Brian Cooper, Buddha Sheep, good to see you guys. All right, we'll be right back after a quick break. All right, welcome back, everyone. You are looking at some beautiful winter wonderland where it looks like these kids, Anita, have the entire place to themselves.
You think that they're on some type of holiday break already?
Oh,
or maybe they're waiting until next week, because I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I know we've looked at this camera before. I can't tell you exactly where it is, though. But let's say they're 2 hours ahead, East Coast, 12:45. They should be in school.
Yeah, that's true.
But for their sake,
spoken like a true auntie.
I'm glad that they're not, and I hope that they are living their best lives. And unless those are adults, also living their best lives.
Yes, for sure, and probably getting a good price on those skates. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that! Look at that little one doing some spins on the ice,
and then a wipeout,
little tumble.
Now go get some hot chocolate. Take a break.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We have a very special interview for you this morning. We have the president of Grand Canyon University. Big headline here when it comes to Brian Mueller with us this morning. Brian, good to see you, my friend.
Hello, President. Good morning.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Okay, so the Department of Education officially recognizes GCU for the nonprofit status. What does that mean for folks who may not understand what that means?
Well, if you remember the history of GCU, we in 2008, we moved from a nonprofit to a for-profit status in order to go to the public markets to get access to capital and build this thing out. And it worked tremendously well for a decade. And in 2018, we had a chance to go back as a nonprofit university. It was an interesting transaction. It was done transparently out in the open, and it was approved by everybody. The Higher Learning Commission, the Arizona Private Post-Secondary Board, and most importantly, the IRS. For some reason, the Department of Ed did not approve it. And that launched a period of time between 2018 and the present where we operated as a nonprofit university, extremely successful. We've become the largest private university in the country now. But because they didn't recognize our nonprofit status, there were all kinds of things that we weren't able to do. The Ninth Circuit ruled a number of years ago that the department was out of line when they didn't recognize our nonprofit status, which led to opening up a relook at all of that. And that led to a rescinding of the fine and of the lawsuit by the FTC. Everything was objectively looked at and thrown out. And then finally, the last thing that needed to happen was the department needed to recognize our nonprofit status, which they have now done as of this morning. And so as good as things have been in the last number of years, it's going to get even better going forward.
Can we backtrack and tell us a little bit about why the status changed and why you decided to go back?
Yeah, the reason we changed to a for-profit status was to go to the public markets. The university was bankrupt. We had less than 1,000 students on campus. And we needed access to capital. And that thing worked way better than we could have thought. By 2018, things were going so well that we had a chance to go back as a nonprofit university, which we thought was the best thing for the university long term. We wanted no restrictions on our faculty and students doing research, getting access to grants to do research. We wanted to be full voting members of the NCAA. We wanted programs that were federally sponsored programs to be available to us as a nonprofit institution. And so there were real good reasons to do it. And those reasons were all approved. Unfortunately, the department didn't approve it, and eventually we had to file a complaint. Once we filed a complaint, the retaliation started, and we've really dealt with this since 2018. It cost us over $20 million in legal fees, another $20 million at least in staff time to respond to all these investigations. Interestingly enough, though, the university never slowed down. The demand the demand for what we're doing just kept getting greater. You know, we have students from all 50 states. We've grown to 25,000 students on our campus, 108,000 students studying online. We're building 80 mini campuses throughout the country. 49 of them are already completed. So the thing just kept growing. The demand for what we do kept growing. But now we've got officially this stuff behind us, which I think will make things even better.
I think you're right. A couple of comments. We have a very active chat here on YouTube, which I love because they have some of the greatest questions and thoughts and comments. Be Kind Forever says, "Hi, Mr. Mueller. My husband graduated from GCU. He loves your school." And so I think that for Brandy the Bookworm, she says, not so much a question, but a comment. "Thank you for being such an important part of our community at GCU there. Merry Christmas, sir." And, you all have done, Brian, I have to give you kudos. I met you years ago. I know you don't remember that because you meet so many people, but I remember when it was a smaller campus. And now you all have grown. How much acreage do you guys have there at GCU?
And how many students?
Yeah, when we started this in 2008, we had fewer than 1,000 students on campus. Today, we have 25,000 students. The average incoming GPA keeps going up. Our honors college is exploding, over 3,000 students in our honors college. And we're getting students from all 50 states. We have almost 400 acres now. We actually have more students living on campus in university-owned housing than any university in the country. So it's become a huge campus, and especially from a residential standpoint. We put $2 billion into it. It's ranked the 20th nicest campus in the country, and we plan to build it out to 50,000 students. We teach now 10 colleges, over 350 academic programs, and importantly, everything is taught from a Christian worldview perspective.
Yes.
We put a big focus on traditional American values, which has incredible stickiness throughout the country. I mean, we're getting students from all 50 states, and our parent lobby is unbelievably strong. Parents are so happy that they can send their son or daughter to a university that's going to reinforce their values versus attacking them.
Well, I love it. President Brian Mueller of Grand Canyon University, we thank you for your time this morning. We hope to have you back and have a little bit more time because I know you guys are all making some really great moves and advances in your curriculum. And as a professor, I love it. It's amazing what you're doing. So we thank you for your time. Have a Merry Christmas.
Go Lopes.
And yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas. We have another very special guest here in studio as well. We have Kim Gray from Boyce Thompson Arboretum. Good to see you.
Thanks for making the drive.
Hey, no problem.
Celeste, neither of us have either been there, but I looked it up in Superior. You said about 45 minutes. It's stunning.
It's an incredibly beautiful place. If you haven't been, you need to go.
Wow. Look
Okay,
at this.
you brought something in for us. Can you pick it up and kind of show us? What is this?
So these are actually some leaves from one of our tree groves. This is Chinese pistache, and the reason why I brought them is you can see they're orange and yellow. So we have fall color happening right now.
Do you really?
Yes,
Right now.
we do. It's beautiful.
Oh my goodness. And Anita, we were just chatting with her, and what is it, a 40-minute drive you
About
said?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
You
is
have lunch
reasonable.
in
You could
there.
easily do that in the day, like for a day trip.
It's an incredible day trip.
Tell us a little bit about what's happening now for the holidays, and if people do decide to head out to the Boyce Thompson Arboretum, what they'll do.
So the Boyce Thompson Arboretum is a beautiful, beautiful place. We have about 374 acres and about 5 miles of trails. So lots of incredible trails, as you can see on the video. And then right now we do have fall color. So our Chinese pistache grove, as you can see, is orange and red and yellow, and the leaves are falling. So it just feels like a classic, like Hallmark movie out there. It's incredible.
So here's some of the pathways right here. Is it mostly hiking trails? You have bird watching?
It's mostly hiking trails. It's an easy hike in most of the areas. You can do bird watching. We also have Coatimundi, which are this very cute mammal that's native to Arizona that are often on the trails.
How big are they?
They're about the size. They're about the size of a large house cat.
We just need to know how safe we are. You have yoga in the garden.
We do.
Coming up that is this Friday or Saturday the 20th. I am very interested in that.
It is a class that you can sign up for on our website, and Yoga in the Garden is a very popular class. So if you take that, you come out to the garden. It's very relaxing. It's beautiful.
So where, if we head down, it's down south or east, I guess.
East.
And you said about a 45-minute drive. This video right here, is this what it looks like right now?
Yes, that's what it looks like right now.
Wow. Do you encourage to bring lunch, or do you
can
think
you pack a lunch?
You can pack a lunch. We do have a picnic area. You can have a lunch in. But if you would like to go into the town of Superior, it's only 5 minutes away. And it's a very beautiful little town. They have wonderful restaurants. We've got a wonderful barbecue restaurant, a wonderful cafe, a Mexican food restaurant. There's wonderful, wonderful shops there as well. So you can do the Arboretum, then head into Superior, do some shopping, have lunch, and head out.
You really can
do a little Christmas
Well, you
shopping.
can also do Glass and Flight at night.
Yes.
And then you also have a holiday hangout. You have nature play. What are all of those events? Forest bathing.
Right. So we'll start with Nature Play. So that's every Saturday. You can bring your children out to our children's garden, and we do have activities for kids based on nature. And then Glass in Flight is an incredible exhibit by a local artist from Tucson, Alex Havari. And they're incredibly beautiful sculptures of butterflies and hummingbirds with art. And so you can walk through the garden and see those. And then we are open at night for that. They are lit up at night, so you can see the garden at night, which we haven't done a lot of. So a lot of folks come out at night. You can see. We are dark sky, so you can see stars in the Milky Way from the Arboretum.
What about this forest bathing?
Oh, sorry, the forest bathing.
Yeah, that
is
sounds
also,
very.
yes,
We've
forest
got about a
bathing.
minute left.
So forest bathing is another class you can take. Go on our website and sign up. And it's about 2.5 hours, and you can. It's basically meant for you to enjoy the forest and let all that wonderful energy. You walk through one of our ancient forests to do it. It's a wonderful class.
So there's a few people in our chat have actually attended. It says RLS Vid said Superior has an awesome barbecue place.
They do.
Best barbecue turkey. And then Charles David says he's been there once. It's amazing. And so we have people in the chat. So how did you end up there?
I grew up in Arizona, and I grew up coming to the Arboretum to go birding and buy plants. And then when this job opened up, I was working out of state at the time. And the idea of coming back and leaving this amazing, incredible place was just such an honor, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Oh my goodness, Kim. Well, thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
in. How do we find? Is there a website, and what are the
is.
hours?
So usually we are open 8 to 5 right now. And then Glass and Flight, we're open till 8 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can go onto our website, Boyce Thompson Arboretum. So it's btarboretum.org.
Okay.
But you can also Google Boyce Thompson Arboretum and we'll come up.
And then
find us on social as well.
Everything comes up, and all of the important events. There's a whole big calendar, so you can find.
I was just looking at some more of your events.
Is there a fee for any of this? They're all different.
All the classes are different fees. Our admission is $24.95 for adults. And then Glass and Flight is part of admission.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I think we need to go do some forest
You
bathing.
do.
I think we need to go.
Health, wealth, and happiness outdoors.
We can be like one with the trees, Anita. Kim, we will let you know when we're on our way.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank
So
you so much for
beautiful.
coming in. We appreciate it. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
We want to show you one last shot here of some of those beautiful shots there at Boyce Arboretum. It is absolutely gorgeous. Kim, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you all for hanging with us here from 10 to 11 a.m. Anita and Ty are taking over, and then I'll see you back at 11:30.
Am I staying with you at all?
We'll find out. I have no idea.
It'll be It'll be a surprise.
Oh, it's good.
It's going to be another blonde.
Yeah, we kind of roll with the punches around here.
And
It's
Ron
so
is back
fun.
tomorrow, folks. We have people asking if it's going to be me and you all week. It was me and you all last week.
Well, unless everybody wants to go forest bathing with us, maybe we take the show
let's
on the
go.
road.
Let's do it.
We'll be right
Bikinis
back.
required. Bikinis required.
We're going to keep things rolling. You ready for another half hour?
Absolutely, always.
All right. You are a fan of the Christmas music, correct?
I like the Christmas music. As soon as 99.9 KEZ started playing it, I started listening.
Well,
I haven't stopped. You?
Some songs. There's some songs that I'm into, and others I'm like, all right, that's enough.
Do you have a favorite?
I mean, I know this is kind of cliche, but you got to say the Mariah Carey, right? I mean, that song.
Oh, I don't.
You don't like that one?
It's not that I don't like it. I like the classic Christmas songs.
Sorry, can you try that one more time?
I like the
White Christmas. I do like the Wham! Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart. I think it's catchy.
That's a good one.
Anything Bing Crosby. I like. Frank Sinatra.
There you go.
I'm a little bit more old school.
But I thought this was interesting because I listened to this earlier this morning on a podcast, and so I was like, well, I'm going to double check this. But Spotify notes the first major increase in holiday streaming activity this year.
Because we all need a little Christmas.
That's a Christmas song.
Yes,
you
it
should
is.
Sing that one.
Little Christmas.
So they said it
like
actually
the
started in
same
October. There was a significant rise in holiday playlist creation in October, with millions of people creating their own festive mixes. Then on November 1st, that's when they basically say it's kind of like the unofficial start of when you can start listening to Christmas music. But they say that this is kind of like a reason why people were so early to listen to Christmas music is stress relief.
That's what I'm saying. We all need a little Christmas. The season is also shorter. We had only 28 days between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we put our tree up early this year. I started playing the Christmas music a little earlier. By the numbers, they're saying Christmas Dreaming. Do I know that one?
I've never heard of that.
Sorry, 1,450% increase in streams. The Christmas Waltz, is it Laffy? Saw a 1,090% increase. The Christmas Tree Farm Old Timey version by Taylor Swift had a 1,020% increase. Sabrina's Carpenter's White Christmas, 400% increase. I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
There you go.
What's your favorite Christmas music, everyone at home? Favorite Christmas song? Darla says Mariah Carey is a go-to as well.
And then I like AZ Radio right above that. No to Mariah Carey. Overplayed. Blah.
I kind of feel that way too. I mean, I like it, but it
is played everywhere.
I think that is the anthem. So when we first start the season, that's the first song that I hear, and then I'm ready for everything else. Brandy the Bookworm says, I love old Bing Crosby movies, White Christmas, Holiday Inn, Bells of St. Mary's, some of my favorite movies year-round. And let's not forget about Home Alone.
Oh, there you go.
Home Alone's a great movie.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to another topic here, and this was a big one that is still developing here this morning. The death of Rob Reiner. He was found dead, he and his wife, inside of their home in Brentwood, Los Angeles. And originally, we had just heard that they were stabbed and killed inside of their home. And then this morning, it was kind of interesting. LAPD originally put out a statement saying that there was a homicide. They were investigating this as a homicide. And then late this morning, we got word that Rob Reiner's own son, Nick Reiner, 32 years old, was actually now in jail, being held on a $4 million bail for the murder allegedly of his parents.
A couple of things. We had Mike Pache on earlier, and he talked about how he had read reports that the entire family attended a Christmas party thrown by Conan O'Brien, and that there was a very big argument amongst them. And a lot of people actually witnessed the argument, and that Michelle Reiner may have potentially been talking to people about the difficulties that they were having trying to help their son. Maria Shriver has been friends with the couple, had dinner with them last week, said that they loved their kids, they loved each other. They were married 30-some years. They met on the movie set of When Harry Met Sally. Michelle was a photographer, producer, that they never stopped trying to be fantastic parents. And there are also reports that their daughter is the one who came in and found the bodies and indicated to the responding police officers that potentially the brother was a suspect.
Interesting.
These are all reports coming in.
Yeah.
Still a very, very active investigation.
So we thought we'd bring in someone to kind of talk about Rob Reiner's legacy, because he is kind of just a juggernaut when it comes to Hollywood. So we have Chief Film Critic Peter Debruge with Variety joining us here this morning.
Hi, Peter. Good afternoon or morning.
Hi, thanks for having me. Really a sad story.
What is the latest that you're hearing?
You know, I just learned more from you than I kind of have heard even in our newsroom. That print is a little bit slower, and we're kind of like waiting for confirmation on a lot of this stuff. But I mean, just to think that here's Rob Reiner has directed half a dozen movies that are so close to my heart. We're talking about, you know, everything from my personal desert island movie, The Princess Bride, to A Few Good Men, Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, This Is Spinal Tap, you know, but the beginning of his career was acting. You know, it was acting in Norman Lear's All in the Family, and the whole idea of that show was, and the dynamic between Archie Bunker and Meathead, you know, as Archie called Rob Reiner's character, his son, you know, was that you had this kind of tension between generations, and that kind of occurs in every family, and you see it and it kind of plays out episode after episode. And just, you know, to hear the story, it just makes it sound like the nightmare version of this at home.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Rob Reiner. You kind of touched on it, but he started his career, and correct me if I'm wrong, as an actor. Is that right?
That's exactly right. Now, Rob Reiner was the son of Carl Reiner, who is kind of a comedy legend, the director of, you know, so many funny movies, The Jerk, the Steve Martin movie, and of course, who started out, you know, playing kind of the straight man. I'm talking about Carl Reiner now, playing the straight, you know, man, kind of opposite Mel Brooks on Your Show of Shows and with Sid Caesar. So Rob Reiner, from a very young age, was kind of meeting these comedy legends that his dad worked with, and of course, that must have been a household full of laughs. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, he continues in the same path, you know, going into the film industry, studying acting at UCLA, working on theater, and getting cast, much to Carl Reiner's surprise, because he didn't recognize his son as kind of a funny talent on this sitcom, All in the Family. And then more than a decade later, you know, he kind of shifts to filmmaking, to moving behind the camera, while still appearing occasionally. You know, he appeared quite recently in The Wolf of Wall Street, the Martin Scorsese movie.
I remember watching reruns of All in the Family, and I remember the meathead character. And it was just really fascinating to watch that type of comedy versus the comedy we're seeing today, and the character development. And also probably have seen When Harry Met Sally 185 times. I loved that movie. And it's like we've been talking about his talents, just, you know, I mean, we're so spread out, and it's so many people enjoyed his talents.
You know, I've been saying today that Rob Reiner, among kind of American studio filmmakers, he was the best director never nominated for a Best Director Oscar. I mean, This guy just made these colossally culturally important movies. I mean, how many times have we all quoted from any of these? From A Few Good Men, You Can't Handle the Truth, or you know, the American President, like you were saying about When Harry Met Sally. That's the movie that if it's like playing on TBS or on TV at some point, I just like get drawn in and watch it through to the end all over again.
Let me ask you this, because obviously you kind of have your finger on the pulse when it comes to Hollywood and everything that's going on. There's never going to be like a Rob Reiner like that, to have so many kind of just massive titles under his belt like he did. Mm-hmm. There's very few directors.
I think the thing that really sets him apart is that he kind of let the other talent shine. You know, it's like he really worked on screenplays and worked with some of the best, like Aaron Sorkin. You know, the American President, you could look at that as the template for what became The West Wing. You know, Martin Sheen is a character in the movie, and the kind of look and feel of that. But it's like, we don't think of it as a Rob Reiner movie. We know because we love his work, but like, he's really letting the actors, you know, kind of like be the focus. I think a lot of the other directors who have this kind of filmography are the ones where the director is the star. I'm thinking of like a Christopher Nolan or a Michael Mann or a David Fincher. I mean, they've got great credits like Rob did, but Rob is really almost like egolessly putting the characters and the actors forward. And that's why, like a movie like Princess Bride, it's just like every one of those characters pops. Or When Harry Met Sally, I mean, it's like, this is the movie that relaunched the rom-com, a genre that was basically dead until the late 1980s when that film came along. And I credit that with, he collaborated with screenwriter Nora Ephron. It's her screenplay, but it's an idea that they kind of developed together. Rob had been single for a while after his first marriage and was kind of reflecting on the kind of dating situation he was experiencing. And, Nora Ephron, brilliant screenwriter who's gone on to be a brilliant director of romantic comedies, is the one who kind of like riffs, and that together you've got the dynamic of a man and a woman behind the scenes developing the chemistry that becomes the film. I'm not saying that they had a relationship, to be clear. It's all kind of hypothetical brainstorming that kind of brings these two characters to life. And then you've got actors who are as brilliant as Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, a great improvisational comic who just kind of elevates what they developed on the screenplay.
We had a live look at the Star in the LA area. Fans starting to bring flowers.
I think we have it up there.
There
right
we go.
there, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And so I can only imagine his death, but also the nature of his death is just really so incredibly shocking to people in the industry as well. Not just the fans and family and friends, but people who cover him.
No kidding. I mean, it's hard for me to comment on that because we don't really know. But I mean, this is a man who lived 78, incredibly prolific, and years in which he kind of gave so much joy and provoked so much thought in people. And this is not the way you expect a life like that to end. And the idea that it was him and his wife both, kind of like caught up in this situation. Mm-hmm. I don't think there will be an explanation that makes it easier to live with,
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what a lot of people are reacting to is, how could the son do this? And then obviously this life and legacy of these two kind of big Hollywood names coming to a tragic end like this.
I mean, think about how kind of like his first film, which, we recently put together at Variety, the 100 Greatest Comedies of All Time. Rob Reiner had 3 movies on that list. Wow. And, this is Spinal Tap, which kind of, defined the mockumentary genre, kind of parodying a fictional heavy metal band, and, how kind of absurd and crazy the backstage shenanigans get. That he always swore he would never do a sequel. And
Peter, I apologize to jump in, but we have to take a quick break. Yeah. Can you hold on 2 minutes? We're going to come right back with you. Wrap everything up. We appreciate it. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We are going to wrap things up here with Chief Film Critic at Variety, Peter Debruge, joining us live this morning. Peter, again, thank you for taking the time to speak to us. I guess, why don't we just get kind of your bottom line, your final thoughts here about how you think that Mr. Reiner will be remembered?
Well, I think I keep saying that, he's the best director never nominated for best director. I really think that, people recognized his contribution to these movies, and yet he wasn't kind of putting himself out in front of it. Just this past year, he circled back around to the first film in his career. This is Spinal Tap. He made a sequel to that. That's very, very funny. It came out of the fact that pretty much everybody who had collaborated on that film was cut out of the profits. And so they were able to kind of get the rights back and make a funny follow-up. If you missed that earlier this year, it's just a reminder what a gift this comedic, genius was.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, Peter. We really do appreciate your insight into all of this on this Monday.
Thank you both.
We're going to move on to our next guest. We'd like to say hello to Chef Joey. Chef, I was just with your sister earlier today. You guys have such a wonderful, charming family. How are you?
Good. She told me she was there. Thank you for having her.
Yeah. Stop by the delicatessen not too long ago. If you need a good bagel, there it is, right there behind you.
This is the spot, baby. We make them every day. They're spectacular. You're going to come try it.
So, Chef Joey, let's talk about this. You're going to be on one of our episodes of AZ Eats, which Joe Tillman, one of our photographers here, does such a fantastic job. Let's talk about kind of your, I guess, business here in the Valley, because you started with one restaurant, then it grew to 2, then 3, and now everywhere you go,
you're losing count.
We're losing count. We're at a Joey restaurant everywhere in the Valley now.
Where are we on the count,
Chef? I'm trying. I'm 23, believe it or not, which is crazy. We're in 5 states. Yeah, but I live here. I love Arizona. We like to bring them to life here, and being part of the 50th episode of AZ Eats is crazy. It's exciting. I mean, you guys are going nuts with this, but we have 5 brands. We have the Delicatessen, which we're at now, is the newest one, and we're trying to launch it. We're just always having fun, always creating.
We have the Delicatessen, the Mexicano.
The Mexicano, the Italiano.
There's one on Tatum and Thunderbird.
We have Sicilian Butcher, Hash Kitchen. Yeah, so a bunch of different ones.
What I think is so wild to me is that these aren't like cookie cutter restaurants, and they're not the same, I guess, genre of food. I don't know what the right word to describe food. Not genre's not the right word, but you know what I'm talking about.
Each restaurant is different. The menu is different. There's a different flavor.
So how do you come up with these different concepts? Because you're always coming up with all sorts of stuff.
You know what? I don't sleep. My wife thinks there's something wrong. I stay up at night, and I've always been the black sheep of the family, and I wanted to say, my father was an Italian chef, and I didn't want to just do that. I always have, I want to see what I can do, what I can come up with. So each brand is I try to become more authentic and more out of the box with it, and we have fun building them, and thankfully we do well at them when they're busy and exciting. We serve great food.
The family is very important to you guys, and I mentioned I was with your sister at her restaurant earlier today. She said she talks to you on the phone about 25 times a day, and you guys are always talking. You would almost say that you didn't want to do what your dad did, but you're doing it, and you're almost doing it bigger. You're living that dream that he had, all the way from Italy.
That's it. That's it. He had the American dream, and he brought it as far as he could in his life, which was crazy to think where he got. And me and my sister want to take it to the next level, and it is a family business. I talk to her 30 times a day. We fight. I'm a little competitive with her. She is with me, but at the end of the day, it's my sis. I'll do anything for her, and we have a fun time. But it's really seeing how far we can go. We don't want to take what our father did for us and what he did in the legacy of restaurants. We wanted to create our own footsteps, and we're taking it from where he was to the next level.
Can Joe pan the camera around a little bit to give us a shot of the restaurant? It is absolutely stunning in there. Your wife decorated, yes? It's so beautiful.
Yeah, she's the best. My wife Christina does such a beautiful job, and I kind of create these crazy concepts, and she builds them. And this is beautiful. You feel like you're stepping into New York City when you're in here, which is exciting.
You really do. And the bagels, phenomenal.
Anita brought me back one, Chef Joey, and it was 10 out of 10. And I'm a bagel snob.
Excellent.
Good. Well, you're going to come in here and have it here right out of the oven, my friend. There's nothing better.
All right, I'll take you up on that. Chef Joey, just kind of bottom line, what do you think, I mean, this might be a difficult question to ask and answer, but what do you attribute your success to?
You know, really, my father. But, you know, he always taught us to work hard, be dedicated to what you do, and don't forget where you started, and don't forget why you started it. You know, a lot of people open great restaurants, and they kind of lose track of what they're doing. But every day, we're in here, you know, 6 a.m. trying to make sure we make the best bagel in town or the best sandwich, or no matter what concept you're at. So I think it's, you know, it's just us staying the path of being what we want. And I think that shows in each dish, and it shows the guests that we're here and we care.
I was going to ask you if you had a favorite restaurant, which I know out of 23 would be difficult to choose. We have Be Kind Forever in the chat asking, what is your favorite thing to cook? And then Brandy, the bookworm, is asking, what's your go-to meat and toppings for your leftover Thanksgiving/Christmas sandwich?
Some good hard-hitting questions.
Well, we'll start with that one first. Yeah, my leftover stuff. We're Italian. We do lasagna. We do pastas. There's nothing better than the next day baking a lasagna. We don't really do the American-style Thanksgiving. But, you know, favorite brand, you know, my baby's the Italiano, and it's because it really reminds me of my father. You know, he's buried across the street. I built that one to be the new legacy of what our family does, and it's super fun. But my favorite meat to cook is probably vitello ossobuco. Braise it for 6 hours, red wine, mirepoix, fennel, little saffron risotto, nothing better.
Oh gosh, I know. I want a bagel though.
What when you're just like at home and you're like, oh, I'm hungry, I got to whip something up real quick. What do you make? What does Chef Joey make?
You know what? A little spaghetti all'olio. We just make a little bit of, you know, fresh garlic, a little bit of Calabrian chili, extra virgin olive oil, a little pasta water, some spaghetti, little parsley. There's nothing better. Simplicity, but the flavors explode.
We open a box of mac and cheese, Chef. We need you.
Yeah, well, I can doctor it up and make it good for you. Don't worry.
Can of tuna sounds great. Chef, you're going to be on at 12:30 live today, so in about an hour.
Well,
so exciting. I can't wait, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Well, we'll be watching, Chef. Thank you again for all you do here in the community for so many years. You and your entire family, keeping us well fed, I should say.
Thank you so much. An honor to talk with you. Thank you.
All right, we're going to keep things rolling. We got another guest, and this is a familiar face. We've had her on before.
Yeah.
Continues to do amazing things here in our community.
A very young face.
Yes, it is.
Jordan, come on in. Look at this. Jordan, you have this amazing nonprofit that you started how many years ago now?
I started this will be
nice and close for us.
This will be my third year.
Wow. So for people that don't know, what exactly do you do, Jordan?
I do a lot of legislative advocacy for animal welfare. I also do direct aid with the unhoused and their pets. I just do everything with animals. I love animals. I love to be around them and help them.
Remind everyone how and why you got started.
I got started because I grew up volunteering, and I've seen animals come from horrible situations with hoarding or dog fighting, and I was 8 when I started volunteering, and I realized very quickly that this is something I wanted to dedicate my life to.
And you did something, because last time we were here, we were talking about you were raising money to buy little dog boots for those individuals that are experiencing homelessness.
Yes.
So that their dogs' feet.
Paws.
Paws. Yeah.
Well, they're feet technically. We can call them feet, no problem. They have 4 of them each, typically.
Their paws are protected in our scorching summer heat, right?
But also winter's tough too here. It can get
chilly.
really cold in the middle of the night.
There can be. There's 2 different types of boots. So there's mesh boots with hard rubber bottoms, and that's primarily for heat because dogs release heat out of their paws. But then you'll see people hand out these rubber boots that have no mesh material and it's fully rubber, and it's kind of that like balloon style.
Sure. Yeah.
Those are perfect for winter.
Yeah. Wow. And it's, not having a home, not having a place to rest, the dogs are out and walking around a lot. It's a tough life for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What's next for this year then? We're entering year 3, and you reached out and said, I have some big goals for this year.
I do have some big goals. So I'm going to continue Bears Boots, obviously. It's my passion. I love being able to get to know these people and their animals. One of my bigger initiatives this year is I'm working with the National Association of Companion Animal Rescues to introduce an animal abuser database to the Arizona legislature.
Wow.
So I'm very excited for that, as well as I'm running the same cosmetic bill. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but a cosmetic bill banning the sale of any cosmetically animal-tested products in Arizona. That'll be my 3rd year running this bill.
Wow, unbelievable.
So when you say running the bill, what does that mean? What process, what stage of the process are you in?
So we drafted an initial proposal. We met with a lot of people that we would feel have influence with this bill. We got a lot of support. We reached out to a couple senators, and we ended up with Senator Kavanaugh as our main sponsor for this bill. We presented it to him, and at first he was a little bit like, and then we explained it to him what it really was and the goal with it, and he said, okay.
So this is interesting because this year, fairly recently, they passed Jerry's Law, which does help give people, police officers, nonprofits, and rescue a little bit more leeway when it comes to actually getting the dogs out of a terrible situation, because that's always tough. What is this registry about then?
So what we're trying to stray away from is the word registry, because a registry would be through DPS, which is about $1 million to maintain. You would have to register by county, and it's just less effective, and it creates a burden on DPS. What a database is we're working with the Supreme Court and the judicial branch, and we're pulling only publicly available information under the animal cruelty statute, which is 132910, and listing it on a site accessible to the public with only public information managed by the Supreme Court and the judicial branch.
Wow.
So these are, who's going into this database?
Convicted animal abusers under the animal cruelty
So
statute.
this would be like maybe if someone is looking to adopt a pet, they could look at this registry and be, or this,
database, yeah.
and say, this
You
person
can't have one.
is on the
Yes.
database.
So we're not going to hold anybody liable with it. So if they decide to still adopt out a pet because, let's say, it's been 5 years, it's been a while, maybe you haven't had any repeat offenses, we'll let you adopt out this pet. We're not going to hold anybody to that. But what we're doing is just making it there, because we've seen registries introduced in the past, and they've been accessible to things like rescues and shelters, but then pet stores weren't allowed to use them, for example. So we're just making it where
access to them.
Right.
Okay.
So we're making it where everybody can access it, because so many people privately rehome animals. You would want to know and have some insight into where you're putting your animals into.
Absolutely.
Wow. Jordan, is there a website? We've got about 30 seconds left where folks can get more information about everything you do, because you really you're on fire, girl.
Thank you. Lawsforpaws.org is my website. It's where my nonprofit is. You can find a lot more information on there.
Okay,
Cool.
Merry Christmas. Thanks
We
for
need more
what you're
people like
doing.
you.
Yeah, we do. Young people.
Thank you,
Jordan,
guys.
how old are you again?
17.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
Jordan, thank you.
Some really great ideas. We appreciate what you're doing. Celeste and Danielle are coming up.
They sure are. Thanks for joining us on Fox 10 Talks at 11.
Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 11:30 this morning. This is where we like to finish you off with some fun. So we'll have some great stories coming up in just a quick moment. We do also have Danielle here as well. Hi. I'm like,
let's go back to
we're
that
working
shot.
through. Yeah, here. This is the best. This is a much better shot.
A little empty shot. That's an empty chair.
Well, I was wondering what DOC was. There was a DOC in there, so I think it was Doc, like the doctor. I was thinking it was like, Danielle on call or something.
Yeah. I do it all, guys.
How are you?
Good.
It has been
crazy.
It has been crazy.
Yeah.
But the story that you were covering this morning also had to do with the local Jewish community.
Yeah, so we did kind of a follow-up of last night. There was a celebration in Scottsdale. I believe it was happening at Scottsdale Quarter. They were doing, a kickoff Hanukkah event there. And obviously the mass shooting happened in Australia before this event happened. So a lot of the people there were going there to celebrate, obviously, but at the same time, very heavy hearts, knowing what happened, half a world away.
Yeah.
But it was tough because the whole focus of Hanukkah is a celebration and is, a good thing.
Absolutely. And I think one of the hardest things about this story as well is that we spoke with the local rabbi at 10 a.m. and he said the whole part of the Jewish faith is really to according to him here, it is to show love to other communities, to understand they're very almost like an interfaith community. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or if you're a Jewish or if you're Muslim, that everybody should find kind of like a commonality among one another. If you're just joining us, welcome in here to Fox 10 Talk. So let's give you a little bit of background here on this story that we're covering for you. Following the latest developments in the deadly mass shooting during a Hanukkah celebration, this was in Sydney, Australia over the weekend at
some of the
Bondi Beach.
The videos that are coming out are just... It's insane.
It has been heartbreaking.
Just unreal to see some of that happening. And then that one, the guy take down one of the gunmen. And just
pretty
hard to believe.
Hey, Big D, do we have any of that video that we had at 11? Oh, here we go. We have it right here for you. Which shot is... All right, take a listen to this.
This is the holiday of light, the holiday of positivity, and there can be no better time than to be proud Jews, and we're standing together as a community. Yes, we need to be vigilant and careful and safe, but not forget about who we are and be proud of who we are.
Now more than ever, it is so important to combat this darkness and hate with so much light. And this is what we're doing here. Look how beautiful this is. So much Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah.
All right, this is the video Danielle was just talking about here. And you can almost hear the gunshots.
Yeah.
You can hear the gunfire in the background and people running for their life.
And there were so many people there. And you can see from all of the clips there, just all generations, and everybody just kind of running away from that middle ground of where everything was happening.
You even hear the birds, even the wildlife are thinking, what is happening?
Yeah.
And here is a look here from the ocean. So we have 42 people who are being treated at local hospitals this morning. Police say the suspects were a 50-year-old father and a 24-year-old son. The father was shot and killed by officers. The son is in critical but stable condition in the hospital this morning. The father legally owned 6 firearms, all recovered at the scene.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, that there's that many. And I think one of the videos that was coming out of that particular spot, you could see, I don't know if it was the dad or the son, it was hard to tell, but he had kind of I don't even know a holster of rounds.
Oh, wow.
Just like on his...
Yeah, ammunition. And here you see some of the response, but you have videos kind of coming from all directions here from people who happen to be there in Australia when the shooting took place on Bondi Beach. You can see how packed it was. It was a huge event that had taken place there. And of course, you have then Jewish communities all around the country of course, then adding, extra security to their own Hanukkah celebrations.
Yeah, and that's something that the Phoenix Police Department did say, is that they're going to start stepping up security just within this week at, local synagogues and things like that. I believe we also reached out to MCSO, and they were telling us that they're going to have their deputies kind of assessing the situation and seeing where they can step in to help. But obviously it's, a couple days. We're still going to be in Hanukkah. I think it ends
memorial
on Sunday at sunset.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be events taking place all week. So something I'm sure is going to be top of mind for everybody attending those events.
Wow, look at all the people there attending the memorial and everything. It is a sad day in Australia, I think, and of course, with all this taking place, and for us here, sad in the United States as well as what happened with Rob Reiner. We're going to turn now to this big story happening in California. Multiple reports were in, and there was a big investigation. So legendary film director Rob Reiner, his wife Michelle, have been found dead inside their home. And now we have learned that their 32-year-old son is being accused of the crime. According to the authorities, they were stabbed to death.
Yep.
And some of the reports we had at 10 a.m. this morning was Mike Pache was in for an interview. He sat down with us in our first hour of Fox 10 Talks, and he said that they were all at Conan's, I believe it was Conan O'Brien, his Christmas party over the weekend. And a lot of other people who were there witnessed some sort of argument between father and son. And we don't know what ensued once they left the party, but that was something that had taken place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I when all of this was breaking, when the police came out and said, we're not looking for anybody at this time, that's when your mind starts. This is before they, they announced the son as a suspect in the case, but you're kind of thinking, if they're not looking for anybody, they probably have somebody in mind, or I'm just not sure what led up to that. But I think some stuff that I've been seeing just online, I don't know if it's confirmed or not, it was the daughter that
found them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like early morning, I think.
She is the one, I believe, who called 911.
Okay.
Let's get right to Eric Wilson. We have him here with us this morning at TMZ. Eric, it's good to see you, my friend. I wish it was on better circumstances. But you all have been digging and been finding some really interesting information on this case.
Yeah, good morning, guys. A huge tragedy out of Hollywood, obviously. Rob and his wife, Michelle, found dead yesterday in their home in Brentwood. Their son is in police custody, being charged with the murder. He's on a $4 million bond right now. He's still in custody. Just a really sad situation. We know that the cause of murder was lacerations to the neck with a knife. So it is believed that the son, without getting too graphic, sliced their throat and just left. And we're not sure. We do know that they did attend Conan's Christmas party on Saturday night. We broke that story early this morning. We know that he was there kind of dressed in sweatpants, was low-key, was not really talking to anybody. And then later that night, we discovered that they got into a huge argument at the party. We're not sure what the argument was about, but obviously it's likely what led to the murders on Sunday.
Yeah, that's too unfortunate in that case. We do have a question here from somebody in our chat that says the son who is in question here, the suspect, does he have or did he have a drug, alcohol, mental health? I think that's been widely publicized. He did. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, Rob and his son actually worked on a film together covering his addiction, covering their relationship, which was not great. We know that they did not have a good relationship most of their life until they made this film. They said that this film really brought them together and really opened up Nick's eyes to his father's filmmaking process and kind of showed why his dad was away. Obviously, Rob was a legendary director and filmmaker, so he got to see that side of his dad, which brought them closer together, but obviously there was still some tension there.
Some of the information that I was reading online, and some of it came from TMZ as well, was that he had had substance abuse issues as young as 15, had been homeless in several states, and that his parents were always, according to some sources, always there to help him when he needed, help to get back up on his feet. Is that similar to what you all are hearing in terms of the relationship between Reiner and Nick, Rob and Nick?
Yeah. We also heard from sources that he was living in the house with them as of this weekend. So he was staying with his parents. So that makes sense why he was in the house.
And it was the daughter, right? Some of the reports that came in who found her mother and father in the home.
Yeah, she was the one who made the 911 call. She discovered the bodies, unfortunately.
And some of the other information that's coming in is, I believe, Branson, who works there with you, was sharing some information about this part of LA, Eric. And if you can kind of clue us into it, it's right in the heart of a very affluent
I think
part
it was
of Los
Camille
Angeles.
Grammer, or I don't know if she goes by Grammer anymore. She was posting on X. There's helicopters flying on top of my house, something, really wrong. So she must have been a neighbor.
In Brentwood.
Yeah,
before.
Brentwood is a really high-end area of Los Angeles. This is where the Nicole Brown Simpson murders occurred. This is where Conan lives. This is where he has his holiday party. Arnold lives in this area, Marie Shriver. So this is a lot of very established, successful people in Hollywood kind of move to this area because it's quiet. It's an older community, not middle-aged people who have kind of had their success and kind of settling down. So yeah.
You mentioned we're showing his Hollywood star here, and I just want to read off some of these films because a lot of people will recognize them. The Princess Bride was one of those films. I always loved that one. It was the man. It's inconceivable. It's
every one of his films is a classic.
It
quote
really
every single
is.
one of them.
Yeah, and what's the conversation? We kind of hear some of the chatter there behind you. What's some of the conversation about what you guys are looking into now and where this story goes from here?
Yeah, there's definitely some things that we are looking into that we can't really discuss right now. Just please stay tuned to the website. I promise you we're going to be the ones breaking all the details as they come out. We have people outside the house. We have people everywhere. So we are working on some exclusive details that will be on the site shortly, hopefully.
All right, Eric with TMZ. Eric, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. We're going to leave this up here for a quick moment. Let me read off some of the other movies that he was connected to. So, of course, you have The Princess Bride, Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, which is where I believe he met his wife. They'd been married for many, many years. And then A Few Good Men. He was 78 years old.
And his wife was what, 60?
She was a little bit younger. Yeah.
I think she was 10 years younger.
Interesting too. You mentioned Camille Grammer, but that was also I believe Billy Crystal was walking by his home. One of the reports that was out this morning, he was walking by and he was visibly upset as he walked by the home. I don't think it was a secret among the Reiner's friends, or neighbors
about the issues within the household,
and they were hoping to help him.
Yeah.
Which is difficult. We're going to take a quick break, and we have more headlines for you coming up here very soon. Here is your mystery camera. All right, welcome back, everyone. 11:45. You are looking live at our mystery camera this morning. Thank you all for hanging with us. We have a couple of guesses in there. Do you have any thoughts on this, Danielle?
Ooh.
I know, it's windy.
It is windy. There's no mountains. It's flat. It looks like a big-ish city,
But
I
a cool,
guess.
building to the left. Do you see
maybe
that?
like an old courthouse or
Ooh,
something.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
There's some good guesses here. Let's see.
We have Huntsville, Alabama, Mississippi. I don't know. When am I supposed to open this thing?
After we guess.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna go.
Sorry, guys. I'm new here.
There's actually the last time Danielle came on, she was like, do.
I opened
and I was
it.
like, oh no. And
I ruined the
oh my gosh.
surprise. I know. So now every time I'm like, don't touch
She's
the
like,
envelope.
hold on. When do I open this thing? Okay, so what are you going to guess? Let's give you another look for all you folks at home and
Go
on
ahead and
YouTube.
just say, let's say Boston. I don't know. Maybe it's a little small. It's too small for Boston. I don't know. Boston. We'll go
Mr.
with it.
Pauline said America. That's hilarious. We've got Georgia from B. Miguel. We do have a very special guest, Captain Stephen Willis from Peoria Firefighters Charities. Do you have a guess on where do you think this could be?
Watching football this weekend, I'd say that's Northeast or like Chicago area.
Oh,
Not
which
Chicago.
game were you watching?
All of them.
What do you think about Phillip Rivers coming back at 44? Wasn't that awesome?
I'm 42, so I'm stoked that he did that.
Right?
They
I
said he
think
had to
that's
get
great.
cleats out of a trophy case.
Wow.
That he didn't even have cleats to wear.
Well, because you want them broken in, right?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
He was
son
one
and
of my
husband-
favorite quarterbacks to watch
Oh my gosh.
years ago.
Okay, great. Well, we'll chat about that again here in a quick second.
Somebody
all right.
said Arizona.
Oh.
It's definitely not Arizona or snow.
I'm going to go like North Carolina.
Okay, do I open
Okay,
it now?
now you open it.
Watch, it's going to be something that I can't pronounce. I'm going to embarrass myself here. Drum roll.
Oh, Dubuque, Iowa.
Thanks, Celeste.
I think.
I think last time you gave me one, it was literally could not pronounce it. And now I get this again. Can I just get a nice Phoenix, Arizona?
Or Tucson?
That would be great. Tucson,
Not
Arizona.
Tucson.
Yeah. Not anywhere. If you guys ever give me one in Nevada, I'm going to debunk this. As born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada.
It's not Nevada.
It's not Nevada. Anybody who says it out there, please stop.
Yes. Okay. Joining us this morning, Captain Stephen Willis, Peoria Firefighters Charities. Good to see you, Captain.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And I concur that it was cool to see Phillip Rivers out there. I thought, oh my gosh, this guy's 44 years old and he's
so cool.
I know. It was so fun to watch.
He has to still work out, though, right? I mean,
He still coaches high school football team.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Can you imagine? That was your high school football coach?
They were watching them.
Oh,
they were all at a bar
so
watching
cool.
them.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
Super fun.
Yeah. All right.
Also cool.
Mm-hmm.
What you guys are doing.
It
you
is
guys are
pretty cool.
stepping in, helping out, kind of becoming Peoria's Santa department, I would say. What are you guys doing?
So it's a toy drive. This toy drive is kind of different. It's made up of a lot of events. This year there are 22, 23 events. Usually there's right around 25 events
Okay.
in 24 days.
And we're looking at some video here. What is this of?
This video right here is what we call the day of, like our toy sorting and delivery. So this is kind of like the culmination or pinnacle of it. So that is one of our fire stations, Fire Station 191, the Wolfpack. But essentially, what would happen is we have 80 plus businesses. We have, like I said, anywhere like 20-ish events that happen throughout the month from December 1 to December 24. We partner with all these businesses. There's a bunch of entities involved. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But we all come together. They collect toys. We do all these events through the toy or through the events or the businesses themselves. And then we go around, we collect them. We bring them down to the station, as you see. And then we have our own little Santa right there. And then on the left, that's my wife and myself with the little Santa hat. And then our kids when they were really young. And then another best friend of mine, Steve Gunn, over there. But this is kind of the day of. So this is a lot smaller than it is now. But now it's out of our support warehouse because it's grown so much. So we collect all these toys. We bring them down to the warehouse. We sort them the morning of. It's been like a 30-plus year tradition to do this.
How long have you been spearheading the effort?
Like 13, 14 years.
And when you jumped into action, why did you go, okay, I got to do this. This is really cool.
I was told to.
Oh.
My mentor,
This is
Danny
your assignment.
Danny Camella, was a captain for us. He was a mentor of mine, a training officer. It started before him, but then he kind of spearheaded it then, ran with it, made it into a thing. It kind of started, long of it short, was we had a family that was a fire department family of ours, needed some help. Started with the guys taking care of their own. Then it kind of grew to, hey, this is pretty cool. Let's all pitch in, throw in some money. We have what's called a kitty. So every tour, or for us, it's 48 hours, but every tour you throw in money for your kitty, and that's what you shop with. And then whatever's left goes to like all the essentials, like the coffee and the cable and everything like that. But they would just take some of that money and they would just go buy toys with it, throw them on the fire truck. So if we ran on a house that we needed help with, they would just deliver, the toy. And then it grew and it grew. And when Camilla took it over, it grew really big. So it ended up being like 8 events, 15 to 20 partners, like business partners. And we would do it at the community center, and we would there's an application process that goes on. And then these families come in and we would assist those families. So now what it looks like is, like I said, there's 20 plus events, there's 80 something businesses, but it's really cool. What happens is we get all the toys, we sort them, we deliver them, and the delivering part's the best. So essentially you walk up with a sheet of paper like what's in front of us, and it says the demographic of the family, your address, how many kids, and it says like 13-year-old boy, 8-year-old girl, 7-year-old boy, 7-year-old girl. And then I would hand that to a fireman, one of our firemen, and then he goes and shops, quote unquote, in the warehouse with all the toys that our partners have collected.
Oh, awesome.
Loads them up into a big white trash bag, and then we throw it on a fire truck and deliver it to him the morning of the 24th.
That is so fun. And then, so obviously Christmas is what, 10 days away, I think? Yeah. Are you guys still looking for donations, or what?
If anybody wants to, they can. Okay. We have roughly 80 something boxes at businesses right now, all throughout the website's pffc.org. So if you went there, there's a whole list, or any Peoria fire station. So we're collecting to roughly the 20th, and then we pull all of that, and like you saw there, you sort it, and then we'll deliver it the morning of the 24th.
So you guys all get together and put together these bikes?
Yes.
Or whatever toys need to be put together?
Yes. We don't wrap them, because that would just be way too much. That would take months.
Well, apparently that's like a Southern thing. Santa doesn't wrap gifts in the South. And so you guys are doing it the Southern way, Southern hospitality in Arizona, in Peoria, Arizona. That's pretty cool. And so the volunteers that we see, are they families of the firefighters as well? I see you mentioned
90% of those people there. Yeah. And then that one, or any other year, those people there are all firemen. Like I said, this is a 30+ year tradition. Like the guy playing Santa, that's a turnout. That's our turnout uniform, but we made it into a Santa costume. He's a fireman of ours. The guy taking the pictures is fireman. It's just a big, big ordeal for the fire department. So we do have other people that kind of join in.
Yeah.
And we do try to bring in other family members or like special honorees. So there are some people that help out. Like tonight we have an event for the women of Westbrook, and they donate a lot. There's
what is the Women of Westbrook? Like a
Westbrook
women's club?
It's like a women's club, but it's a community in Westbrook, which is like an HOA community inside of Peoria.
Okay.
And they get together as a community, and they have like a big banquet and raise a bunch of toys and funds.
Wow. That sounds like a cool club I'd like to be a part of. I bet they have a good book club too.
I would bet that.
They have everything there.
There's a bunch like that. We have a motorcycle club that does a bunch for us, like ran by Jim and Teresa Embry. They go around a bunch of businesses. So this goes all the way out to Desert Ridge over to Luke Air Force Base.
Wow.
About how many toys are over these years? I mean, it's probably a number you can't even put a number on. It's so many that you guys have passed out.
That would be, we do, on the 24th alone is roughly like 130 to 150 families usually. Wow. So several hundred kids. And then throughout the month, it's just a huge, huge number. Like the day of giving was an event that myself and a guy named Dave Bell, we helped spearhead years and years ago when some of the hurricanes came. And it just so happened that we were able to, they had some trailers that they needed unloaded. We did like a day of giving out of it and gave a bunch of free stuff away. And then now like even that event's progressed into, like this huge event for the city. So our Peoria Firefighters Union, which the Charities is a branch of the union.
Yep.
So we've just been able to be, very present in all of this.
Well, let me read a couple of comments. Thank you, by the way, for all you do for the community. Lil Philosophy 481 says, thanks for your service, Captain Willis, and all others whose normal day would be our worst. And Brandy the Bookworm, she's talking about Santa. He's looking good. But Nicole says, thank you for all you do for our community. And so I think we can kind of echo what they're saying. We appreciate all that you guys do. So Be Kind Forever asks, how many families do you help, and is there a way to help? You mentioned the gifts until the 20th, you said?
So the way to help would be just to drop off toys at a Peoria fire station or go to that pffc.org website, and then they'll have all the locations listed on that.
Okay.
As
Do
far
you guys
as
take money in the kitty?
no, not in the kitty. No.
We can put something towards your meal fund or
right.
something.
No,
Coffee and Pop-Tarts. Every time I go to a fire station, I'm like, where are the Pop-Tarts?
They're very, very present.
Yes, absolutely.
But they're hiding them. They're like, Danielle's coming.
Oh, no.
No,
they
there's,
hate to see me coming.
As far as families go, like I said, the day of the 24th, it's like 120 to 150, somewhere in there.
That could have multiple children, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But then throughout the month, though, there are, the Day of Giving this year is supposed to have several thousand children. So, they'll do hundreds, to thousands of kids throughout the month as far as all the events that we do.
All right. Well, Captain Willis, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
thank you. This is a privilege. Yeah. And
awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people, families, everything. Like my wife pretty much helps me run all this. None of this happens without her.
Well done.
It usually doesn't.
Well done.
No.
What's her name, Captain Willis?
Kelly.
Kelly, thank you, Kelly.
Kelly, thank you.
Kelly, thank you. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you for letting us on.
Friend. Okay, we are also going to show you, we're talking about the Powerballs. We have just one quick minute left here this morning, and no Powerball jackpot winners from over the weekend. So tonight, the big prize even bigger.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Thank you, Danielle. So do you normally play?
If it gets that big, yes, I do. Yeah.
How many tickets do you think you'll buy today?
Oh,
I know.
I think last time I just went so crazy, and then I ended up getting upset because I'm like, that was probably like 10 Starbucks that I could have bought.
Oh,
and I just washed it down the
Do you
sink.
Choose your own numbers?
No, I usually don't.
Don't
they say ChatGPT now chooses them?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe you do one ChatGPT.
And
one
then,
like your birthday, Millary's birthday, your mom and dad or something, and one random.
Yeah.
So maybe purchase 3 and not 100 this time.
Maybe I won't be here tomorrow. Or wait, when is the drawing? I don't
It's
even.
tonight.
It's tonight. Oh, dang it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you better be here tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see.
But good luck to all of you, because right now it's over $1 billion. This is now the 5th largest prize in Powerball history. There hasn't been a winner since 2 tickets split a $1.7 billion prize. Say that 10 times. Back in September. Tickets are still $2 for this one. Mega Millions is up to $5.
Yep.
But this one is still $2, and the odds of winning are 1 in 292 million. So good luck to all of you. Danielle, it was fabulous to sit next to you, sister.
Ron will be back tomorrow, I think.
Yes, he will. Yes,
Okay.
he will be back tomorrow. And have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging.